Check, check, 1 2, check 1 2, 1 2 1 2, check, check, check. Check your headset there, Mike. Check your headset. See if. Oh, you're turned way down. Try it now.
Testing 1 2 3. We're okay.
Everybody here? Dwayne?
Can
you're
you all
on,
hear?
Guest.
No.
You hear me?
Yes. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Can you hear me now?
Check.
I can just hear your voice like normal, you know, but not
Yeah.
in here. I'm not really. I mean, I can hear you just talking like.
I can hear you good.
1 2 3 4. Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Good.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
1
Check,
2
check.
1 2 1 2.
I
Check,
can- I
check
can-
your connections down there on the right there. Make sure everything's plugged in. Knocked loose. Five.
What one is that? Is that Lonnie's?
That's guest 1. No, it's right here. Let me check it again. Yeah, he should have. 2 1 2.
So I'm not hearing you guys.
Well, I can
I'm
hear
hearing you.
I can hear you. You want
Oh
to hook?
man, I think he's.
We hear you.
You hear me, right?
Yeah, I
But
hear you
but I
plenty.
can't hear y'all. I don't know, man.
Hold on, let me replug it.
Hey, Tony. All right, put that headset on down there and make sure it works.
Right
down
there,
at the
but
end.
you have to go in from the other side. Because you got the yellow. That's right.
Yeah. You know Tony White? Yeah, that's Tony Iruli and Dwayne Easter.
We can.
I don't know.
Well, Lonnie's, that's Lonnie's right there.
How about Ray?
We've got
1
another
2
one
1
here.
2.
Yeah, we can hear you good. You can hear us.
This is guest
Hey, Rob.
4.
How much? Man, let me call you back. I'm doing a radio.
I can hear
show.
you, Tony. Can you hear us?
No.
He can't
Okay,
hear. You
all right.
can't. You
Okay.
got him hooked. Okay, so it's got to be in the hookup of those two right there. What one you got? You got guest what? Guest 1? Right there on that
That's
side.
guest
He don't. Yeah, he got guess one.
Guess one. What do you got?
He's got guess here. That's guess two.
Guess two.
That's guess two. 6. Six is hooked up.
We're glad you're all whole show.
Okay, Wayne's guessed 1,
I call,
which is
I called
5.
during a great basketball game I was watching.
Yeah. Right.
1 point game.
Oh, wow.
5 minutes in. Alabama, Missouri game.
Right.
2-1.
Tennessee
Oh,
and Missouri. No,
Tennessee, Missouri. Yeah.
2-1.
I know.
Tennessee was
5, which is guessed 1, right there.
was a defensive
He's
battle.
hooked in
Yeah.
here,
Yeah. It was.
and he's plugged in.
It was ugly. That's all I can say.
Did you see it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was ugly. It was a man. It was asleep.
And guess 2 is 6.
All right, how you?
Doing very well.
Good.
I hear you talking.
yeah.
I can,
You guys sound good.
Yeah.
I'm still dead here.
Well,
I mean, I can hear you just
Well,
talking, but I can't hear the end.
Yeah, both of them are mic'd. And I don't understand why that is.
hey,
Oh, this thing. Hold on just a minute. We don't have power to this. That's what it is. This unit right here.
okay.
And I don't know where the. Hold on. Right here. This may be it right. That is it right there. Hold on. I may have discovered the problem.
We have audio.
You hear now? You hear me?
Hey, he's like one of those NASA people who fixed that lunar landing.
See, there was
There we
this
go.
green light was not.
Now, Tony and I can't hear you.
What?
You guys hear okay now?
Got you
What'd you
now.
say?
You better.
Truly impressed.
I am too.
Well, you've not been around for 40 years for nothing.
There you go.
All right.
Not been around this.
Have you really?
He's been around
40
so,
years?
He's been
Really?
around.
Yeah.
He's been around so long he forgot to hook up the board.
Sub for Bob Gilbert in 1978.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
boy.
when they about first opened.
That was when it first opened, but then I was off for a little while, and then I
But he
came back.
did notice the green light. Now he did notice the green light. Give him credit on that
Yeah.
one. I give him credit.
And,
No.
and Bob never cursed at you. That's great. Congratulations. What? I'm not saying oh, you're not. Oh, my God.
We was out at Green Meadow Country Club. Coach Trail was on Bob, and the station didn't go very far. The frequency up on the radio show, and Bob goes, "Ray, you can't say that." He goes, "Boy, it don't make no difference. It ain't."
Oh
I
man.
remember when the show was back at Lon's place up at Olympia.
Yeah.
Have it up there.
That's been that boy. I was. And you had Russ Bell on it, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was pretty good. But
Yes, I think it got resold again or something, didn't it? I don't know.
me and a couple of a couple of our football players move in the equipment.
I up there too.
Did you really?
I graduated with Eric, his son,
Yeah.
so he had a bunch of
Go there,
stuff.
move all the.
I was probably there that
Yeah.
day.
Oh, Dwayne know everybody.
Play softball together, didn't we, Donnie? Sure did. We used to play softball a long time ago. He's Donnie was, sure was.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
I hear you.
I used to hit it to the fair distance.
It's a little too slow for me.
Softball.
Now the thought of running from home to first base, ooh. That's yeah, that's.
Have to be DH.
Does Tennessee play this weekend?
Yeah,
Who they got?
they got Texas there now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Home?
yeah. This is
10,000.
nah, more than that.
10,000, that arena seats a lot more. What are you at?
Don't let them get you going. God, you're just messing with you.
Did Dale Ellis call you to get some? Dale Ellis call you to get some
Nah,
tickets?
nah. Well, see, Dale don't know I'm on the board. No. Yeah. Nah. It's all Kentucky. Kentucky or nothing, yeah. Yeah. I know, yeah. 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 True. But I was I had a friend who texted me yesterday morning about 8:30.
Oh, they've been calling me and texting me and everything.
But they were just wanting to know.
No.
What,
You remember I called you and said I heard about, your name on the way to the doctor?
yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
but-
it.
Yeah. Oh boy, you something else, man. But private eye. For real.
Well, I'm glad we all can hear now. That's good.
That's the thing. We noticed the light. I
Don't
just want
forget. Oh, you just have to push that button when we're.
Yeah,
I
don't
did-
don't push that button right there.
I'm not touching anything.
Don't push any
I
buttons.
just want to say thank you, Donnie. They're not giving you any credit. I just want to say thank you.
All right, I'll
You
make
didn't
sure.
tell, you didn't tell Donnie thank you for.
What?
I do what I can, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Donnie. See,
Oh,
just say
yeah.
thank you. But
Welcome to the Goatee Sports Page. Coming to you live from the live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Bringing you the best in local sports since 1978. Featuring the Greenfield Gunner, Mike Edwards. Former UT coach Ray Trail. From the Daily Times, Marcus Fitzsimmons. And Troy Pro Boharan.
In downtown Maryville, I'm Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, along with, and this is the Goatee Sports Page. Payback time for Tennessee as Texas A&M, by Blunt Partnership. The University of Tennessee Sports Report, sponsored by the Cherokee Group. SEC Notebook lead off as Tennessee Volunteer basketball legend Tony White and former Alcoa basketball Carson Newman assistant football coach Tony Iruli is also in the house. Donnie Moore will update us on high school scores and news from around the area, and then the Mark It Down segment sponsored. The Goatee Sports Page crew will talk some more UT basketball. The Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segment will be in the lineup as the shines on SEC basketball as our Goatee Sports Page crew looks at the league race and today's big games. And finally, the bowl prediction segment closes out today's show as the panel makes their SEC or Vol basketball legend Tony White is here. Former Alcoa basketballer Dwayne Easter is along, and Carson Newman assistant football coach Tony Iruli is here. And Donnie Moore and college and high school sports will be in the headlines and so forth this morning.
Yeah. High school sports kind of takes
Yeah,
a back seat today.
yeah.
I just want to say this is a historic show. We're a highly intellectual type of show here today. And so we Hurricane, all the names of hurricanes. There's going to be actually Hurricane Tony this year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
So, I
we're
guarantee
in for
it's gonna
trouble.
be a butt
Deep
kicker.
trouble
It's
today.
going to be a butt kicker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, Tino threw his St. John's basketball team under the bus, blowing a 19-point lead to Seton Hall. Tino questioned his team's toughness and told the media that he just took players in the transfer. Didn't really have any choice and basically was just getting leftovers. Here and
Oh, my goodness.
most unenjoyable year he's ever had, and he was totally disappointed in his basketball team. You can't rip your team in public anymore. Everybody today are not as mentally tough as they used to be. And that whatever else you want to put on the list. You want to light a fire under your basketball team, you better do it in the locker room and ability for the team's performance. After all, you're the head guy. So I don't know. As far as the media and what he said, the damage was already done.
That's like
It's like old times, man. I've been there, done that.
yeah.
About all this, I've already, that was just a day at the office back in the late 60s. And I played for Coach Mears, and, he didn't spare any words. And Coach Aberdeen was, he was even got my guy right here, Tony White, and he played for a real calm guy in Don DeVoe, right?
Had that talk during the first day of practice. That was the
yeah.
first day of practice.
Oh, yeah.
talk.
Oh, yeah. We didn't touch the ball for the first 2 weeks.
But he said you all need to hit the rep.
We didn't
The start of basketball season to the end, 30 minutes, and you'd go into that meeting room, never mention the player's name. And we'd walk out the door and go up to Stokely, and we'd go, hey, boy, everybody knew exactly who he was talking about, and he had a real knack of doing that without mentioning. In public, it was always, the team. It wasn't any individual. Yeah. He wasn't really get right there in front of you and go to town on you. But, Tony and Tony Iruli, you can jump in. They, our coaches at that time thought, well, if you can't take us, you can't you're going to have a real problem when you go on the road and try to the training.
Well, that's part of it. You know,
Yeah.
heck, even when I was at Maryville College, we had tough coaches. Steve coached me for a year, and I said, oh my God, he really doesn't like. You can't do that. But I was surprised that that's the type of talk you have behind the in the locker room. You don't have that coming out there, you know, and.
Yeah.
You know, he was lucky he had guys going out to practice the next day. They'd all be in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
But all the players were not very good, so he went into the transfer portal and got about 10, 12 players in the transfer portal going into this year.
Yeah. About ready to die anyway. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he looked like he had aged 50 years in that 40-minute game right there. I mean, he didn't look good.
Stop coaching, you know what I mean?
I started to say, Coach Patino, it just might be time to retire again.
You can't go the old mafia type.
Yeah, and you know what? Pretty salty. You know, there on the sidelines, and he's an old school guy.
Sure,
Yeah.
He's an old school guy. Like Don, you take Tony's coach, Don DeVoe. Well, you know, he played for Fred Taylor at Ohio State.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
And then Don went to coach with Coach Knight at the academy. And then he come down here, and you know he was full of it.
Yeah,
Wasn't he pretty much, Tony, when he got down here?
He cut it loose.
It's been good. Yeah. Yeah.
But in those days, you know, players couldn't say, okay, you said this to me, okay. Nowadays,
No, because you had to sit out a year.
yeah, you have.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure,
if you transfer and then if you transfer within the there's no good porter there.
Yeah, you can't get away with that type of stuff, especially out in public, like
Yeah.
you did and all that.
Yeah, just looked at me and he goes, they kind of owned you. You know, and that's basically kind of the way it is. You didn't have
The person that he didn't really rip throughout his whole career at Tennessee was Mike Edwards. Everyone could just be more like.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right. Jimmy England told me that sophomore year,
Yeah.
you know, it was on me. All junior, senior, it lets up a little bit. Hell, it got worse. Last year was the worst of all of them.
Oh man.
You know, they just took certain guys.
Well,
They just took certain guys, and and there were some guys that didn't pick on at all. But they knew if they verbally, because, you know, he didn't handle it. But for some of us, it's got to where, you know, if you were dressed this button right here, and when it's clipped it off and you thought of the beach, or, you know, maybe going to a movie,
Exactly.
or getting something to eat,
I was like Gooma
and
Powell.
you just waited for him to finish, didn't you?
I was like Gooma Powell. He thought I was crazy because every time he started yelling, spitting out.
I'd be like the Wizard of Oz. There's no place like.
Oh, yeah, you just
Go to
to
your
a whole
happy
different
place.
world.
Go to my happy
there you
place. Coach Hirschman said, "No, I was always treated Tony really nice." And
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, in his dream. Hey, let's talk a little
grief.
bit to Dwayne Easter here before we get into some UT basketball. On the jersey and the number retirement this week, you're kind of heading that up. And why don't you fill our listeners in that weren't with us last week, kind of a little bit on Tony's background, what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I was going to. So, Tony, like I say, at work and everything, but I started looking at his statistics and why his jersey is not retired at UT. And I thought I'd just recap. SEC Player of the Year, 1987, third-team All-American. Currently holds the all-time single-game scoring record of 51 points. White was hard to capture the SEC scoring crown, remains one of 6 players in program history to score more than 2,000 points. 1987 SEC tournament, all-tournament. Of course, as we brought out last week, he was 1987 first-team All-American Playboy.
Issue.
Hey,
You gotta take
I got
hey,
it.
we had to cut it short last week because they had him in the grotto.
No, we didn't make it to the mansion. We didn't make it to the mansion. No.
Okay, well,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
MVP, 1985 Sugar Bowl Classic All Tournament, 1985 Volunteer Classic. 1984 SEC All Freshman Team and 1984 Volunteer Classic All Tournament. With 2,219 points, second only to Ernie Grunfeld in Tennessee history. He posted a career best scoring average of 24.5 points per game, joining Bernard scoring titles. And he set the Tennessee single game scoring record with 51 points. 84, but the thing is, you know, I've reached out to administration at UT and I've not really got any response. I've tried several with the record and the body of work that he's got, that just try to get the word out, and we appreciate you all so much for letting us be on the show in town. And one of them was a sports animal. I sent, you know, several to John Wilkerson, Ferrara, and actually me and my wife were going to a doctor's appointment Monday. I was listening to the radio and I didn't really catch it, so I got back home and I pulled it back up. And I'll just kind of go over what was said about Tony on that sports program. So that was Monday, the 91.1 Sports Animal. They had a trivia question for listeners to call in and try to answer. John Wilkerson said, this is the question. There was 30-point games against Vanderbilt. Who was that player? Who had 3 30-point games against fans everywhere in terms of his name, having continually stayed around the program. So then people started calling in about this question, and first is Chris Lofton. And after several callers had guessed incorrectly, John Wilkerson began and hint that it was a guard. Callers were still answering incorrectly, so Wilkerson said, you need to go back a little further. So he was a guard who scored a lot of points. Darren Nix.
He's a forward.
Then the next caller was Allen Houston. And then the fifth caller, you know, had done that. And then the next one, they said Lang Weissman. They said his name.
There you go.
So then after finally the caller answered the question correctly, John Wilkerson went on to Wilkerson said, the Wizard, Tony White, who I think at some point in time should have his number set aside, retired by the University of Tennessee, which I to get some support. So I thought I'd give a little bit of update on that.
Yeah.
So.
And do they need to contact Rick Barnes through a letter, or
well,
who can they write? Who can they send a message to?
That was, you know, I called UT. You know, that decides that. Right. That was my only question. Right. I could get a response. Yeah, well, that's
because they probably don't have a committee. But,
so this is what these are the titles of the people that make up that composition. Athletic representative. I don't know who that is. That's my question. Vice Chancellor, Director of Athletic Media Relations contact for men's basketball. Who that is? That's right. This committee. Associate Athletic Director designee. I don't know who that is. Then they had the Senior Woman Administrator, which I can haven't received. But those are, I would just like to kind of reach out to get this, you know, ball on the.
Well, I'd probably recommend them writing the letter or the text or whatever to. I think I'd start with him, and then I'd let him, you know, delegate it or whatever he needs to do. That'd be my suggestion. you got a pen and pencil out there, write it down, and send it over to Danny White, and then after they get, and we'll continue to pitch it here on our show, and I hope that other shows will do the same thing, and we'll get that thing done. Told you last week he was overqualified. Everybody that got up there in the Raptors is underqualified.
Yeah.
You got to take all of them down because
it's like both of you guys have been kind of, you did all these things at UT, but just kind of forgot. And that program.
Yeah, well, unless that trivia question wasn't about me, they'd be going, hell, is he still alive? I thought he was buried out in Park Cemetery somewhere. Are you telling me he's still alive and talking? My gosh. Anyway, I forgot to ask Tony last week before we get into UT basketball here.
Yeah.
You nicknamed the Wizard.
Right.
How'd you get that?
Oh, Supersonics. And Gus Williams out of Seattle.
Yeah.
His nickname was
It
the
was
Wizard.
a Wizard.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And he and I just admired his game.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of joked around, we were just saying Wizard, and so we joked around. Well, he didn't like you joking, He didn't have that type of sense of humor.
He played for. There wasn't no joking going around.
He didn't like that sense of humor, but but you gotta have some fun.
Yeah. I knew that, Kevin.
We joked around, told stories and stuff. I don't know the guy you're talking
On the basketball court, you and Don, y'all sat down at 8. So that's a totally different person.
Yeah, we had a whole different rapport.
Yeah, but and with it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good. Hey, let's talk about Tennessee. They played Vanderbilt around at the bottom of the league. They had Arkansas there before that, but Vandy came in to play, even though, and really I looked for a little bit closer game. He was playing a team that knocked off Texas A&M a few nights before they came in here. College Station.
Right.
And so, but Tennessee, they were in trouble when Stackhouse, the coach over there, the best dressed guy in the league or whatever you want to say, he just sat on the bench from the start to the end. That's not Jerry Stackhouse.
No.
He's up on the sidelines. For Vandy right here, but Tennessee played an exceptional game from start to finish, pretty much all the way through, huh?
Yeah. I'm just dropped out for Vanderbilt, but I just give our guys credit. They came out with the intensity that they needed to come out with. They play teams that way. You just got to come out and get the game over with.
Yeah. Tony Iruli, it was sort of a game. They went down and very far from the penthouse to the outhouse.
Sure.
And they played awful down at Texas A&M. Everybody saying, well, they might be overrated. And then a lot of times after a loss, the next play better, and that's exactly what happened right here. And Vanderbilt didn't handle it. And obviously Tennessee learned from what happened down at College Station and turned everything exceptional.
They really did, and that's the way you kind of learn a little bit about Sullivan Ironman, especially going down to A&M, and you just didn't play a good game then. But how are you going to respond to that? Are you game and just kind of do whatever it takes to get by, or are you going to go with a purpose?
Yeah,
and I'm sure Coach got them all fired up. You're playing Vanderbilt, regardless of Vanderbilt's record. And slam it to them, and they certainly responded very well.
Well, Tennessee had 14, Connect had 14, James had 13, Adu had 11 points, and only 7 turnovers. That's the key for Tennessee.
Yeah.
You're in that 7 to 10 turnover deal. On the other hand, you got Vandy turning the ball over 19 times, and a lot of those turnovers resulted in baskets for for Tennessee, and that's competing for the SEC championship, which was really a big deal because they didn't take very many teams for my first couple of years, and then Alabama came on. When I was a senior, it was always Vanderbilt in the program is struggling, and I know when you were over there, they probably had a pretty good basketball program at times, but I don't know. It just looked to me like, and then I saw them play after they played. That's ready to just put the gear in the container and kind of head on down to the beach. They just don't look like they're really losing will do to you.
Yeah.
But they just don't, and it's hard to figure out because Stackhouse was coach of the year last year.
Yeah.
You'd have thought that
the leadership, but they're searching. They're searching for their identity right now. I mean, it's just hard right now because you got new players coming in, different that don't know the system. You don't have that because of the portal, the continuity of 3 or 4 year players.
Sure.
And so it's hard to find leaders.
Yeah,
and
they got to rest some people, and I think that was good to see.
Yeah.
And
because you never know. We might need those players in the tournament.
Yeah.
Tournament times. I
Yeah,
mean,
you better believe it.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
Pretty balanced
good.
scoring, too, wasn't it?
That would-
Hey,
That would help us.
all the ingredients, Dwayne, was there. It was just a total kill. All the in this game. Tony, I'm a little concerned about Ziegler. He's playing for. About him getting in foul trouble. They haven't worked very many people in that
True.
point guard. About it, huh?
Well, I'm a little concerned about
Yeah.
it, because we're gonna have to, rest his playing well. He's building himself up, but I'm just concerned that we need the other guys to step up to run the team.
Yeah.
When Ziegler, need a break.
Yeah. Tony. Anyway, because when I'm going to come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about Missouri because as good as we looked against Vanderbilt, we looked pretty bad.
And I believe you got a phone call during that Missouri game.
Absolutely. What was the score when you made that phone call? Run with one on base, right?
It was a safety and an extra point without a touchdown. I asked Donnie to make sure I got the correct phone number because I didn't even text you. All right, just to get your basketball wisdom in the.
You were so dang excited you had to make the phone call. Yeah. Right. Hey, we'll take a timeout here, and when we return, Donnie Moore will provide high school score. Listening to the Goatee Sports page, Blount County Sports Voice, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
All right.
It's payday, and on payday, you want to have the fastest and most secure way to get paid. Getting set up is easy. All you need is your account number and our routing number. Find out more at tvacreditunion.com. Join us now. Federally insured by NCUA. Some restrictions apply. Ask for details.
Since 1925, Anderson Lumber in Alcoa has you can stop in anytime and see our incredible kitchen showroom. From in between, Anderson Lumber's experts can help you design your dream kitchen. Think home. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. Of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Merlin's Music World in Maryville is owned and operated by Dylan. Guitars, amplifiers, lessons, sound system, and video system. Merlin's also offers a 24-track digital recording studio featuring audio engineer Rusty Chambers. Visit Merlin's at 1920 East 093. We all want our loved ones to be safe. Denso and Mary with Denso in a fast, challenging, clean, and safe environment. They offer great benefits and competitive pay, as well as a convenient on-site fitness center and more. Start your future now. Entry-level production positions start at $60. Maryville to learn more and apply. The Blue Tick Tavern.
Welcome back to the Goatee Sports page. And Donnie Moore, we got high school basketball.
We do indeed, Mike. And I'll tell you all about that. Compliments of our we got the TSSAA region quarterfinals of the girls basketball action happening last night involving Blount County teams. There was going on. Region 1 2A, number 1 seed Alcoa hosted number 4 seed Happy Valley last night. 7.
Amber.
And in moving on to Region 3, I'll tell you about the next action here in just a few. Okay, number 1 seed Heritage Lady Mountaineers hosted the number 4 seed out of the other district. The Lady Mountaineers are on the warpath. They black 6-18.
Wow.
How can be in the quarterfinals of the region and only score 18 points? Was it great defense by the ball team, Mike?
I don't know. Maybe they had the windows open and the wind was blowing.
It was windy.
It's pretty windy the other day. Anyway,
yes, it
so
was.
I don't know.
Oh, man, that's
76 right now.
Yeah.
Rick's got them tuned up and ready to go. In Region 2 4A, as being the number 3 seed, they traveled to number 2 Campbell County last night and came away with a win.
Wow, that's long.
Won that one 50-37. A comfortable win for the Lady Rebels.
That's a basketball team. Won a lot of big games.
They sure have.
They're a whole lot better than their record. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, right. and they're playing well.
Yeah.
I mean, basketball's a time, and they're playing well right now. Congratulations to Maryville. And the Region 2 4A, number 4 seed William Blount traveled to the and ended their season last night with a 60-40 loss over at the hands of the Lady Wildcats. That's a tough place to play.
Well, it is. Even if you got a good ball club to go into Oak Ridge.
Sure is. But congratulations to William Blount. They've had a pretty decent season and had some up. But now let's. I told you I would tell you what's next for these regions in region. And it is Hampton at Alcoa. Alcoa's number. Eagleton travels to South Green tonight. That's a pretty good little distance right there. Still fighting with no seniors.
That's
believe it. Young team.
Time.
Yeah, young team. So they're they'll go up there and compete. The 3A, Saudi Daisy comes to Heritage. So Heritage has been playing well lately.
Saudi Daisy.
The boys, yeah, Saudi. That's a long trip too.
Yeah.
But they'll come to Heritage tonight and see what they can throw against the Mountaineers. In Region 2, 4 are Tuesday, so we'll see how that out. And boys tonight in Region 2 4A, Knox Central in that region after knocking off Bearden. That was a tough thing to do, but they are playing well right now.
Wow.
And the boys also Maryville goes to. So we'll see how Maryville does against the Panthers. But Maryville here, it really is
1-4. Either one of them could have won. Maryville won the regular season.
Yes.
And you could just see Bearden, Maryville, William Blount, West. It was going to go down to the wire.
Right. Those comments were by Rodney Nelson, folks, if you didn't recognize the voice. Thanks, Rodney.
I hope they didn't. Question my coaching.
And just picked up about 40 new viewers.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you joining us today.
I had to get Mike Edwards sign a book that he wrote back in the 90s. I wanted to drop in and let him sign it again. So
we
very
appreciate
nice.
The TSSAA State Wrestling Tournament is getting underway this morning. Our own Marcus Fitzsimmons is there covering the event for the Daily Times, and we'll have some comments and athletes from Alcoa, Samuel Everett, Heritage, Maryville, and William Exposition Park. We had one national letter of intent signed this week. It was by Caden Bogan of Alcoa High School. He is traveling. They are the Bulldogs. They have about 800 students. Congratulations to Caden Bogan of Alcoa.
Good ball
player. Certainly is. And that'll do it. Scoreboard, and we're going to pass it off normally to our friend Marcus Fitzsimmons, but we can't reach him right now. He's down in Franklin, Tennessee.
He's down there grappling.
He is. He might be involved in things, so we're going to kick it back to the Greenfield Gunner at this time for
All right, thanks,
down.
Donnie. I've volunteer basketball great, and Dwayne Easter played at Alcoa High School, and Tony Iruli, assistant football coach at former outstanding player at Maryville College and outstanding coach at Maryville High School that beat me more than I would like to remember. A bit about Missouri. I'll start with you, Tony White. Tennessee traveled to I think that's the best word, to survive. 72 to 67, and really there that pulled it out for him.
Right.
Other than that, that game could have gone right down to the wire and could have been, I don't know, it sort of looked like the way Tennessee was playing looked on the east side of Indianapolis. They just didn't play very well at all. Oh, and I know you haven't played over on the east side. But, there was no east. There were some games that, they didn't shoot very well. But anyway, was it because Missouri was, last place team? Maybe they weren't motivated to go out there, or they played exceptionally well against Vanderbilt? What's going on?
What it was is that, you got a team that's fighting for wins, and they carry intensity, because especially you're number 5 in the nation. So you got a bullseye on your back. Yep. Everybody, I don't care who you play, they out to get you. Yeah. And we didn't match the intensity. We didn't come out as in, we had a lot of turnovers. You say the turnovers hurt us, shot selection, and we just wasn't in rhythm. Yep. And just play. Yep. But it was kind of scarce now.
Yeah. Feel comfortable with this team, feeling they're number 1 seed or number 2 seed and maybe a Elite 8 or a Final 4. They throw some crap out on the floor like that. In the NCAA tournament, especially in the second half, if you have a night like that right there, it's good they had it. But you have that in the NCAA in the second half, you may be going home, huh?
Well, my wife doesn't let me get comfortable at home. High motor, and obviously as a shooter, I think he had 3 really clean open looks in the first half for 3, and he didn't make any of them. And that's a little unusual. But I don't know. When you go play a team that hadn't won a conference game, there's bound to be somewhere, and he started connecting. But I love that big lineup.
Yeah.
I think when you play a team that's going to get up.
And you talked about the inside people here a few minutes ago, how Tennessee, when they're going downhill and feeding the inside guys, making them commit.
Doubles, connect, and a walk.
That's 32 points right there on your inside people. I mean, that's going to win a lot of games for you right there. That, for the last several years have been mainstays here. They've been pretty consistent players. I know James has had some injuries, but but you look at those two guys, and I think for the you got 2 veteran guys there, and they're probably 2 of the most inconsistent players on the 4 points. I mean, what's going on? Is it? I don't understand it. I don't understand how those guys can't be more consistent, having been around here.
We need them, and so as of right now, I know we need them. I'm not counting them out. I'm not counting them out. Vescovy and Josiah James to score. So now you got Connect. Connect is covering that load right now, and I think it's kind of that we're looking for to help us out. But as in, like you're saying, we need shots to open up the game.
Let me ask you this: Is it hard for them to play that kind of role?
Well,
go out there and here's Vescovy, and he's been used to double and pass, and he gets 3 shots.
Well, I mean, that's just like what I heard of Coach the shots that they need to take to help the team. But Coach been getting on them. We need y'all to take those shots, and they playing unselfish and giving the ball to Connect. So I don't know what the find out.
No, because the SEC League Championships on the line coming up, and then you want to continue some momentum, right here in the net.
Well, can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
as a person who once scored 3 points in an intramural
experience in getting 3. We forgot about talking about the guys with experience. They get 3 points.
And I was 1 out of 7 on total exciting game that first 5 minutes. In fact, I gave you Tennessee was up by 1 point.
It was a good soccer game.
The score was like 0 for 14. Tennessee was 1 for 15. I just wanted to give Mike a call just to give me his expertise I have been missing in the game. So I was
what they were missing was shots.
I mean, there were bricks that were being thrown up there and all that. But
I'm watching. I'm looking at, and we're going to talk about this later. Lenardi's bracketology. I don't care if they're 1 seed or 2 seed; doesn't make any difference. Is play. This team has trouble against teams that clock, play discipline, shorten the game. Texas A&M, South Carolina both beat them playing that style of game. It's right there that they could be looking at in the second game, Virginia.
Yeah. No.
Don't want Virginia. Of course, he's got them with Michigan State, and there's no guarantee that. But Virginia is one of them teams where you can look up a basketball team, and they got a good record, but that's the way they've always played.
Yes, that's a challenge. Shot volume, and I think the thing that Barnes has pointed out, Vescovy is, and that may be a function of Connect, but I noticed that last year he was trying And, this year he's been open sometimes so much. I don't even think he's like, what? I'm that open. Play slow down. You've got to get more offensive rebounds, and you got to pound the board. Take a shot on the perimeter, and he's at 22 feet. The ball's not even hitting the rim, and and they decided, well, we're going to double connect. Well, then we made the extra pass. Boom, Milwaukee's dunking it, and that's the way you beat those slow down. I'm not sure we can outshoot. We might, if we get hot like Kentucky, we can play with any. Because it reminds me of intramural basketball, and I watched the points go in, and I want to tell you that rim had to be welded. If you get that type of game and you're not shooting it well with a quick offense.
To such a rough start in the first half, I could understand it maybe at Arkansas or one of those other, but Missouri.
We didn't get in no type of rhythm. That's what I'm saying. We didn't get fast break points or anything. Need to. I'm telling you.
I think we're best, and I think Rodney hit it on the head there. We're best going downhill with the bat. In trouble or that game's on the line, there's a timeout, and they're going downhill. Right. They're going to take the ball to the bucket. They're going to dish it off. They're not going to fool around out there on that perimeter. Even Connect's going to put it on the line.
Exactly.
But they don't play the whole game like that.
No,
but for the most part, when it's on the line or it gets right down to,
experienced players.
Even when they're small lineup with Triple J and Adu down low, I like it when they force feed Adu. Like you're saying, Mike, sometimes they just play perimeter, and Adu's down there. He might as well be in the concession stand. It's 4-on-5.
Yeah, you got to get some touches. Yeah. You definitely got to get some touches.
Well, they got Texas A&M coming in today, and they're somewhere around a 10 or 11-point favorite, whichever service you're looking at. But 8 o'clock. About going from the penthouse to the outhouse.
Oh, yeah.
They're staying down. They're in the outhouse right now trying to get out because they've lost 3 straight. They lost to Vandy and Alabama and Arkansas. They lost 8.
Oh, they're struggling?
Yeah.
Oh, those are dangerous teams.
Yeah, and normally, Rodney, what would it's not a real good matchup for Tennessee. They're a physical team, hard defense. They don't shoot the threes very well, but boy, do they go to the board against Alabama, who's leading the conference. So that scares me. And then if you remember down at College Station, heck, they had to pull Adu out of the game because they'd beaten him up, Rodney.
Well, so A&M saw that. I mean, the very first 1 or 2 possessions, I was watching, a shot went up, and that guy blew through him. I mean, he just put him almost out of bounds to go get the ball. And I went, well, they're going to have to strap it up because I'm telling you, A&M's coming after them.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you ask the question? Everyone looks at me and starts laughing.
A&M's going to come in here, and they're going to milk the clock, buddy. They're going to run that clock down to 5 seconds. Boards, and that's the way it's going to play. Now, how do you beat a team like that? You get off to a good start and you put them down, right?
Next 5 minutes, we got to take it to them tonight.
Yeah.
We got to take it to them.
And I totally agree.
Yeah.
Tony's hoping in that first 5 minutes we'll be up 6-1.
Yeah.
Really, where are they at right now? They've lost the 2 bottom dwellers. They're hurting as far as. They're in trouble. I think they're in real trouble based on that loss and the Vanderbilt loss. I think they're in deep trouble. But 2 wins against in the last week or so and a good tournament showing, they can get back on it. So this.
Hope he doesn't get crazy like he did down at A&M and hit threes, which ended up him driving.
Yeah,
so.
Penetrating.
Yeah, you're talking about Wade Taylor, the 4. Best in the league, and this guy's probably, the numbers he's putting up is probably
could be.
If you're talking to Texas A&M, it's probably the reverse of that. But we're going to probably be looking It'll be fun to watch how these guys do
True.
today, huh?
True. Both of them are candidates for the SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So really play some tough defense
Yeah,
tonight.
and Dalton Connect, he's averaging 20. And orange and white checker game over there.
25% from three going into our game.
Right.
And then he hit like the first four. And I'm him. First of all, he's got to come in and make threes. I'm not going to get up in him because he's going to. But if he hits, if he makes a three or two, you got to go out on him more.
Mm-hmm. Dwayne Easter, all the incentive for Tennessee. They lost down there at College Station. Ran out to midcourt, signaling a timeout. I don't know what he was doing. I'm sure that highlight has been shown probably in the last couple. Got a lot of incentive going into this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. I agree with Tony. They're going to have to come out right off and stick to threes. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
So.
What I worry more about Texas A&M than anything. But if you're a great rebounding team, you can stay in ball games, Rodney.
Oh, yeah.
You can get offensive rebounds. You can keep yourself around, and if they keep themselves around to the last 5 or 6 minutes, then
And Tennessee this year has shown a propensity. I'm going they're just out scrapping us, but I think if you go back through the numerous games, and that keeps the team in the game if they can stick them back. Obviously.
Yeah. 3 of A&M's losses have been on the road.
Yeah.
They were at Vandy. I think they were at Arkansas, and they lost at Alabama. Yeah. So that's not an easy run.
Vandy was a painful loss for them.
Yeah.
I watched new vest and everything.
He was sweating pretty bad.
I've been there where you're going, how is this happening?
I think he's a good basketball coach.
Oh,
I think he looks like Curly Joe of the Three Stooges. Coach, he was at Virginia Tech, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was very good. Well, my wife, who keeps me on my toes at home,
it's like that.
Yeah, well, Calipari at Kentucky dresses up too. They dress up to lose, That's what they do.
But he doesn't wear a vest.
That was really tight.
You got to have that vest.
It's the best. It's the best.
Yeah. Hey, it's time to turn to Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
Tavern is home to the tastiest pizza in Blount County. Try our signature Broadway barbecue. Sink your teeth into our one-of-a-kind chicken and bacon pizza. Made with an olive oil base, grilled chicken, bacon, red onions, and covered in Brussels petals. The Blue Tick Tavern also located at 128 West Broadway, Maryville. The Roger L. Newman 84 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true to Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Now for as little as $50 a month.
Your newspaper, that's right. The Daily Times is your community. The award-winning Daily Times can be delivered each morning right to your door. The latest in local news and sports. For a 30-day free trial offer, call 981-1100. Every day with the Daily Times.
For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stephen Places with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue, in agriculture and construction dealer. Waters Equipment has been serving Blount County for 48 years. Offering shop and field service for trucks and equipment of all brands. Waters offers equipment rentals for New Holland skid steer, Mini X, and tractors. 9000 for your rental needs. That's 238-9000. Waters Equipment, New Holland. Excellence in service.
Mike Edwards along with the rest of our broadcast crew, and now it's time for the Sports Page Player of the Week segment, sponsored by Anderson for over 75 years. And I'm here with the Sports Page crew today. Tony Iruli and former Alcoa basketballer Dwayne Easter and Rodney Nelson. Big news is with the NCAA, as of yesterday, a federal injunction that prohibits the NCAA from punishing any athlete or boosters for negotiating the name, image, and likeness deals during their process or while the athlete is in the transfer portal. The injunction is not a final ruling in the case, but
now there's basically are no rules, and right now, if you think a rule's broken, it's on hold, and so politicians, you got the NCAA involved, so it's a complete, and I can't say it on the air because my wife would say it. Well, so who's going to make the final call on these things? I mean, it's just about 3-4 years ago, like this, they had about 88 of the 90 you can do now, and you don't even have to use McDonald's bags anymore. You can put them in Burger King bags, and so that's where we are. And it's it's like I was talking a couple shows ago that something's not quite right there, and like I said, one more thing is. He says Division I players is going to be optional. If they want to go to college, get an education, but they're going to be termed as an employee of the school. Your plumbers don't have to go to college. Your maintenance people don't have to go to college. But believe me, the term student athlete, that's been gone for a while. It's long gone, right? So don't even put the hype in it anymore.
NCAA got on the sideline. They could have made some rules with all the school's input, and you would have some regularity, but they waited and they waited.
They did.
And
you're
now
right.
The bag.
No, there's no
where
chance.
We're at.
No chance on it.
Point, and I don't know why we got to this point, and I don't know where it go. And I know Tony's over there rubbing his fingers because we know it's about money. In our day, you signed with the university. Player in high school was to get a scholarship to further. There wasn't a lot of talk about pro basketball, pro football, pro. Go to school because a lot of kids' parents, my parents included, didn't have the money to put me to do that. And you got tuition, you had laundry money, and it seemed like the managed. I had the $15, and in the summertime, I would work some jobs, and then I'd put that money in the bank to have during the winter. I was disciplined enough to do that, and I sold mine because my family couldn't come down from Indiana. Now, if you were local, you would want to hang on to them, but I got to travel, and I was okay with that.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line, away, Tony White, from all of that, because it wasn't enough. But it was certainly a lot better off than had to work while they were going to school. And here we are now, and we're going to give you big dollars on top of all of that.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got here. In some respects, I think it's a little bit sad. I went to. I don't feel badly about that at all. I'm glad that I did that. It was a goal to do that, and the university saw to it Because they used that as recruiting. They'd go out and say, well, we've graduated, all of our players, and parents wanted to hear that. If this is a good thing. Is this a good thing? I don't know.
The NCAA's arrogance way back when Pinckney said, hey, we need a cut. No, you had your cut. You had the scholarship, blah, blah, blah. Well, all those video games kind of changed the whole way people interacted with sports, especially kids. My son, they had a legitimate argument. And the NCAA, if they would have looked at that and said, okay, we need to tweak our amateur rules to allow this and make a rule that once you get on heck, you got high school kids in high school getting NIL.
Sure, it's slowly being gotten chipped away. It used to be, well, you could kick your federal money, because the scholarship would cover it. Well, you could keep this school. You come to our place, you can keep $1,200, and that's way back then. But it kept chipping. Big deal. TV money's got. That's what changed.
Yes.
A lot of this.
Yeah.
And like Coach just said here, it's going down to the high schools. All right, high schools. How does that happen? And they can get NIL money if in high schools.
Trying to make money off of it,
Right.
and that sort of, When they were doing that in my day, we never even thought about that. We thought about, wow, using my number out there, and kids like it, and it made you feel good.
The school
I wasn't thinking about them paying kids to come to basketball camp.
No.
I didn't have, great. I got a picture on the camp brochure.
The school owned
my body. They
That's
owned
right.
everything about me.
Man,
But-
I'm thinking about all the Wizard posters I missed out on.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, you get the banner in there, we'll bring back the Wizard posters. We've got our. We'll go out and raise all the money, and
NFL, NBA, IRL.
I would say is this: let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
It's minor league football. Yeah,
It's always been
that's
professional sports, but the NCAA just but they always were making money
Sure.
off of the players. Come on now,
Right. So I agree. So just like I said, it's no different than any other employee of the school. Hey, you don't have to go. That's not a big deal. If you want to, you can.
Yeah, but the scholarship is only year to year.
Anytime.
And that's
you got in trouble.
and that's a little bit of an argument for all of this. But $12,000. Well, I'd say these scholarships now are worth probably somewhere for the food and the lodging and however they're doing everything. About a lot of money here. I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of money right there. To get a. But if it's a 1-year deal, there's not as much guarantee right there, Tony, as what we.
Of the NIL and all that stuff like this, you got the transfer. Because now that kid says, oh, well, how's the starting quarterback from Ohio State?
Well,
the money.
I
they offered him more money than he was going to be making.
It's irreparable. Is that? Am I pronouncing that right?
Irreparable.
Irreparable harm to athletes. Now I got any more. What irreparable means. Irreparable harm.
Irreparable harm means that it can't be repaired. Once it
about irreparable harm. Okay. Irreparable harm to somebody to come here that hadn't even been on the field. Yeah. That's irreparable harm. If we're going to interfere with any 2.5 hours. We were being challenged verbally day in and day out. 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours, being day out by coaches, abused physically, wear and tear on the body. Here's where problems, some mental problems. We had inadequate training facilities. You played with. bones showing. You're going to play, boy. You're going to play.
And practice.
Tape it up.
Yes, sir. That is irreparable damage.
Shoot.
Here's one. True. Of the 229 public Division I athletic programs. You know, I always hear about all this money coming in. So either their accountants are doing a great job, out in the public. I know money comes in. Certain schools like Tennessee, like an accumulated $80 million debt at one stadiums. But these sports entities like Spire, they're on their own. That's the whole thing now. You got these little entities that can. We went to UT. So it's, I see, Tony mentioned something. I think you'll see football.
Yes. And one other thing we haven't talked about anything. How does Title IX getting all these big money, most of them are going to. You talk about Title IX with all the women's sports, everything's supposed to be equal.
But it would be a Title IX issue, but it's a private money. It's private enterprise. So, and that's when they're talking about irreparable harm. If I'm an athlete in senior year in high school, to me says, we think you're worth $1 million if you go to UT. And I go, I think I'm worth 1.5. That's what the judge was saying. If they don't allow me to get.
I had movie passes when I was over there. That was part of my NIL. And they took those movie passes away. I never got over that. I'm not over it to this day, Tony Iruli. Every time I look at a movie.
Hey, Mike, let it go. Let it go. Like look, he's turning red right now.
What'd you do when you went into Blockbuster back in the day? I mean, and now, you know, I mean, 10 years ago, you were so afraid to go to a theater and you saw a movie. I once had a.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sounds like a country song.
The Gunner, they didn't have it, did they?
Huh? Television channels.
Yeah,
Three television channels. Huh?
But see,
all I know is I miss Blockbuster.
Yeah. Sports page veteran Donnie Moore will have the sports headlines, and then our crew will talk some SEC basketball play. You're listening to the GoT Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
5. Anderson Lumber in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. But did you know Anderson Lumber is so much more than a queen? Anderson Lumber's experts can help you design your dream kitchen. And then our install team will make it a up over 67,000 items online at Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball, it's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
We all want our loved ones to be so in a fast, challenging, clean, and safe environment. They offer great benefits and competitive pay as we're now. Entry-level production positions start at $16 an hour for second or third shift. Visit Denzo.
Merlin's Music World in Maryville is owned and operated by Dylan Davis and has been a fixture in Maryville since 1980. Sound system and video system installations are products available at Merlin's. Merlin's also offers a 24-track Alexander Parkway or call 977-00.
It's payday, And on payday, you want to have access to it comes to you with no waiting. It's the fastest and most secure way to get paid. Getting set up is easy. All you need is .com. Join us. Join us. Federally insured by NCUA. Some restrictions apply. Ask for details.
Welcome back to the Blue Tick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for veteran and Blount County Sports Hall of Famer Donnie Moore. And Donnie, which will hopefully be a little bit easier discussion than trying to figure out what we're supposed to do with the NCAA.
Please.
We do have some a little bit here today. We got to our sports headlines by Fast Signs. Whoosh. Woo. Whoosh. The 3 members of its swim team who died in a single car accident in northern Colorado. Carson Muir, 18, a freshman on the women's team, and men 21, a junior. Muir hailed from Alabama, Clark from Las Vegas, Nevada, South Africa. 2 other members of the men's swimming and diving team were injured in the multiple rollover crash, but their injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. I don't know, just a multiple
very sad.
rollover.
Very sad.
Yeah. Well, when the Indiana women's basketball team knocked off the Hawkeyes Thursday evening, not only were there a lot of Hoosier fans in the house, but also, you ask? Well, it just so happens that the Fever holds the rights to the first overall pick in the came to see the player they hope will be that number 1, Caitlin Clark. She didn't have her best game of the season offensively. In fact, Fever fans want Clark any less. They know what she's capable of and what she would mean. 24 hours after Iowa's last game, whichever comes last, to make.
Yeah, so she could go to the WNBA and make less than what she's making.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, but she'll make a ton.
She'll
though.
make a lot of money,
I guarantee you
but
they'll make her a wealthy lady.
Yeah.
Flat, and they all got cornfields.
That's it.
So, you know,
I've
she's just
heard.
going to go.
That's it.
That'll be great.
A lot of
You
corn.
better
in there.
believe it.
Yeah,
Oh,
but-
man.
But they do. They've got the first pick, so
Yeah.
I guarantee
Yeah.
you they'll try to.
Oh, boy.
I
take
go
her.
back up there, and I'll tell you, when I go there, now all flat fields and all this corn, and then there's a barn out there, and I mean, it's just makes tears come down my eye.
Easy to follow directions up there too. They
Well,
tell
yeah.
you go.
Well, you're lost all the time.
3 miles north
You're in
and
the
2
car
miles
all
west.
the time. I'm lost, and you're not lost, but you are lost because
Oh, my goodness.
you drive out there and then you hit a city.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, there's been a lot of controversy over Caitlin Clark this week, whether she's the greatest women's basketball player or not. And all sorts of other records as well. But because she hasn't won a national championship, she says, well, she's not the greatest.
Sure, and people, and you know, somebody's always. Bottom line is, she can put it in the hole.
Well, she everywhere she goes, they sell out right. Be a period
Mike.
of time.
You
I can
know that, don't
understand
you?
that. I can understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
People that don't want to get. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
We'll,
you know?
we'll, we'll get it done. We'll get it done.
That's
for
right.
As always.
Claimed the first 2 finishing spots in the 66th annual Daytona 500 at Daytona International Speedway. This renowned United States Air Force Thunderbirds. William Byron, who led all NASCAR Cup Series drivers with 6 wins to kick off 2024 in style. He edged his teammate at Hendrick Motorsports, for the victory. Good race.
Yeah.
It had its
I watched
controversial
the last
spots.
38. The last 30, they kept wrecking.
That last
Yeah,
race.
Well, they don't have any place to go. They're
No,
all
they
out
don't.
there running. They got that far, a foot
Yeah.
between each one of those cars. You're just sitting there going, well, okay.
Okay,
when
it's
they
going
gonna
to
pile
happen.
them all
It's going to
up?
happen.
They couldn't even run 3 laps without
I know.
crashing about
I know.
8 of them. And the greatest quote that I've ever heard in race, well, the next greatest, was Joey Logano. What was your day?
What
And
Joey said.
He says, well, it was real enjoyable till it. And that sums up Daytona. You have this wonderful day and cars all beat up. And the other quote was Anna Booth. She started 33rd last year. And they said, they interviewed to look in my rear view mirror because there's nobody behind me on the last car.
Great
Oh
quote.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the
wow.
first person who was charged under a 2020 law PEDs was given a 3-month prison sentence. Federal prosecutors used the Rodchenkov anti-doping therapist Eric Lira with supplying human growth hormone and other PEDs to a pair of Nigerian athletes who were regulars on NCAA, Olympic, and important this year with the upcoming Summer Olympic Games in Paris. To Olympians understand the severity of their actions. End of quote. Let's do some on this day in sports. 3.96 miles per hour in his famous Bluebird car on Daytona Beach, Mike. Imagine doing 200.
That's where they used to run them.
Yeah, 253, almost 254 miles an hour on Daytona Beach.
Hope no one was laying around trying to get a suntan.
Yeah,
Rough Stutz Bearcat.
A Bearcat.
Bearcat down
Yeah.
to Daytona. A year or so after he won the Indy 500, and Stutz had cars in the Indy
Yes,
500, and he
I
took
remember
that
those
car down.
Stutz.
Speed record in that car, and Stutz, who had never put another race car on the track after that accident down there. But yeah. It wasn't a wave or the sand or anything. He had a tire blowout at the high speed.
Daytona 500 race. Tiny Lund, that's a name that race fans will remember. Tiny Lund of Wood Brothers Racing wins, and he only 10 laps were run under caution because of rain. Tiny, famous name in NASCAR racing. 1978, Kevin Porter of New Jersey.
You wouldn't have a chance at that, buddy.
No way that was happening.
That's dishing it off, isn't it?
Yeah, that's but see now.
You'd like to have 1980, United States ice hockey team clinches the gold medal with a 4-2 win over Finland at Lake Placid Winter Olympics. After the next game,
They're watching it up in the dorm
game.
rooms. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. 1982, Wayne Gretzky, 8th goal of the season, on his way to 92 goals. Man. 87, Lakers center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scores his 36th 93 win over the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. Man,
That's
he,
wild.
Back in the UCLA days.
Oh,
it'd
my
have been
goodness.
extravagant, wouldn't
Depending
it?
on that concrete.
39, boxing legend Roberto Duran wins world title in different divisions. 2013, the 55th Daytona 500. Jimmy Johnson wins his second. He'd won 2. Danica Patrick female to start from the pole, Mike. You remember that. She finished 8th, which was the best ever finish by a woman. Long time ago, guys.
Missed that one.
Missed that one, too.
Yeah.
Honus Wagner,
Oh, yeah.
Hall of Fame shortstop, 8-time National League batting champ, leader, played for the Pirates, born in Chartier Borough, Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Wouldn't you though? Wouldn't you though?
Yeah, you'd be buying lunch right now.
Yes, sir. 19.
Yeah.
He was a U.S. basketball player, won the Olympic silver in 1972. He was known as the tallest.
Norman Sloan.
Yeah.
Yep.
And who was the point guard from Indiana?
Monty Toe.
Yeah, Converse.
Monty-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. David
Boy,
Thompson.
what a team.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
saw them in person at Davidson.
Oh, wow.
Thompson still put on a show, though. He caught these alley-oops. His elbows were here. He put one through us.
Yeah.
Goodness
The
gracious.
72 Olympics silver, that's that they wasn't that they
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah, they cheated.
Yeah. They
We're
gave
still
him-
getting
they
cheated
gave him
against
another
Russia,
chance,
aren't we?
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I tried to get that when I was coaching. They never fell for it.
They never
1955. He's 69 years old today. His name is Alain Prost. Won championships in 1985, 86, 89, and 93. Born in Lorette, Free. Major League Baseball Hall of Famer.
Great player.
First baseman. 3-time Gold Glove winner. Played for the Orioles from 77 through 88 and 96. Played for the Dodgers 89 through 91 and as well. He moved around a little bit, but he was a great
in his
player.
prime, he was great.
He was
Absolutely.
a great player. Born in Los Angeles, fans, NFL kicker, and ball for life. Played for the Minnesota Vikings.
With us over at Carson Newman now is the
Yep.
defense. I think Charleston Southern right now.
Charleston
Just
Southern.
great family. Great family.
They are great, great family. Well, that's all for this week's sports headlines. Brought to you by. Now let's bring the Boyd Sports Spotlight into sharp focus. Back to you.
Football coach and ball basketball legend Tony White and basketballer Dwayne Easter and
The two Tonys.
Rodney Nelson.
There you go.
Football coach at Maryville High School and player at Maryville College. Before I leave this on, but are players, Tony, are they? It seems to me like they got all the advantages right now, and
I really think
where are coaches in relation to the rights of these players? I mean,
Well, I think you're those guys right now.
we're looking at you there at what Division II at Carson Newman.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Wow.
That's all.
That's pretty good.
Well, Ray, I appreciate it. This is
These
all
guys, Carson.
Carson Newman.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Uncle Sam's and all that. Newman, they go to Bojangles once a week. They get half off on the BLT. So, yeah,
And they're having trouble winning up there.
yeah, not anymore. We got. Oh, yeah. It's all the advantages to the players.
Yeah.
I mean, the NIL deal, negotiate their own deals going on. If a coach yells at them, they can go ahead and that afternoon get on the transfer from Carson Newman who's about to transfer out or who's going to be available and all that. So, like athletics,
Right.
where there are no rules, and this is the thing always warn us about, and so it's here. And so that's what we're dealing with right now. And what bothers me now that's what's going on in high school athletics as well. And so we're seeing it.
Yeah.
Well, this is an AAU sport, so you're right.
It's who's ever able to negotiate the better deals, you're going.
Nelson, are you a little concerned about the coaching profession with all this going on? Because hey, I'm not saying that maybe some of this had something to do with them leaving the game, but deep down, I think maybe it did.
Well, anytime you change the landscape of how you don't know about, because supposedly the NIL groups cannot be in contact with the school and the coaching staff. When you lose that little bit of control, you don't know. And I think in football it's probably much more difficult. But it is a concern when long-term coaches go, I just don't want to mess with this, because you don't know the attitude of the kid coming in anymore.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, $250,000 by this group. I don't have to go hard in practice. I'm a pro.
Or how you're going to keep your players on your team happy with one another.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to get paying $9 million to these kids. So, like if $250,000, or if you're a 4-star, you get $200,000. But there's like a level in the locker room, like he's getting $9 million, I'm only getting $100,000.
So what are you saying?
So, I mean,
put a cap on it?
kind of like, if you're 5, I know, but there's got to be
He's
some
talking
limit.
like an agent, isn't he?
Yeah.
You're only making $100,000, but we're going to put some clauses in for some bonus money. You get so many assists or hit so many shots, we're going to give you some more money.
NIL deals. Now you got the offensive linemen that are making $60,000.
Yeah,
And then you better have your offensive linemen all happy and all that.
exactly.
You're going to share the wealth.
But see what y'all forgetting about it, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just telling you, they had NIL when I was 18.
Sure.
But true.
You're
But you just
exactly
think about
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18-year-old kids.
Yeah, I wouldn't be driving my parents' Dodge Polaris. You know what
I
I'm saying?
I wouldn't have been walking, I tell you that much.
The demise of the NCAA, and this is going to be the end because of the court costs they're going to have to pay.
Well, a little history. The NCAA was created essentially not by an act of Congress, but by a demand by Teddy Roosevelt to clean up football in 1902. Genesis beginning from an act of the government, so we're very important. How they're going to generate the funding if you lose your Division I football, your Division I basketball. I don't think they make any money off the college football playoffs, do they?
I don't think
I don't
they're in.
believe
Very much. No,
So,
compared.
so that's why I'm saying, okay, well, if Division I football wants to leave, okay, because they're not doing anything with it anyway to speak of, except for everyone else. And so it's going to be interesting. I think created on a demand by the federal football, and so they want guidance from Congress. What can we do and not do? They can have a monopoly by a decision in the Supreme Court.
And the Power 4 break off from the NCAA. Who governs? Do they have a commissioner like you see in professional sports that kind of makes all the decisions, or establishments that have broke off? You tend to have a lot of chiefs and not many Indians,
sure.
and how do you get somebody to oversee all of that?
I think board, and everyone's got to agree. And then, of course, as soon as someone feels they've been taken advantage of, they're going to take you to court.
Sure.
But it's a wild. Too much to police, too difficult to police. We'll keep the what used to be 1AA, and we'll do that, and we'll do basketball and football. Y'all go do your thing.
And you govern it by yourself and all that.
Well, out of all the court things, NCAA, this was their stand. The NCAA wanted athletes where they could make the most money, you know, in the recruiting process.
Oh.
And see, you know, they're so
Yeah, I
good
think
to
the whole
somebody that's dangling $6 or $7 million in front of somebody, you know.
Times done
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Times done change. It's all about timing.
Yeah.
It's done
Yeah.
changed on us.
Tune for the best in local sports.
Waters Equipment is your East Tennessee New Holland agriculture and construction dealer. Waters Equipment has been serving Blount County for service for New Holland equipment. Offering shop and field service for trucks and equipment of all brands, Waters offers equipment tractors. Call 238-9000 for your rental needs. That's 238-9000. Waters Equipment New Holland. And their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices. Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone. Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at a company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 993-1621 or online at stevensontire.net.
That's right. The Daily Times is your newspaper, tailored to where you live, emphasizing the things that affect you. Inbox with the latest in local news and sports. For a 30-day free 1100 and begin enjoying your life, your times, every day with the
Pizza in Blount County. Try our signature Broadway barbecue pizza, grill-a-kind chicken and bacon pizza. Made with an olive oil base, grilled chicken, bacon, red onions, and covered in Brussels petals. The Blue has salads, sandwiches, and the area's largest beer selection. Regularly recognized as the best pizza in Blount. The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us, are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now. $1 a month.
Welcome back to the Blue Tick Tavern in downtown Maryville. It's Mike Edwards, and it's time for this bold prediction segment. And
Good see.
we'll change it up a little bit here this morning. And Tony White, there's been a lot of discussion whether Tennessee's going to get a 1 or 2 seed, and I think the next really kind of determine that. Maybe the next 3 weeks, because they've got Kentucky and South Carolina, and they got Auburn, and they got
Alabama.
Yeah, you control your own destiny pretty much, right, Tony?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they got all the games lined up in front of them. We just got to go out and compete and win those games.
Yeah.
If you want the number 1 seed.
Yeah. Like they may be the team that's going to really be head and shoulders above everybody else. And Creighton took care of them right and proper last Saturday. I mean, he beat them like a drum. You know, they've had some close calls and they've lost 3 games, but just a lot of Creighton because they beat Connecticut. You see what I'm saying? And they're hanging in there. I'm thinking, heck, any one of those.
Houston looks really good too.
Yes.
I just watched Houston. They look really
Yeah, and you know
good.
where they're going to this bracket, you know, down there in that southwest area. Down there. And so, but I see it as a wide open deal. And Tennessee, Tony, is ranked number 5.
You know, I think we had some games that really, you know, we should have won, and you know, we should be ranked a little higher. Got to be prepared for the long haul.
Tony, I really, Lenardi's got Tennessee as a number 2 seed. He's got them playing, is it Quinnipiac? Quinnipiac, I never heard
Is that
of
New
them.
Jersey?
Yeah, I
New
don't know where it
Jersey
is, but
Ooh.
they got them playing them as a 15th seed. And I
Good
think
hunter.
compared to a lot of other places you could be, if they sent you to the east or they sent you out west, So I think that's a good place. But as I said, matchup that he's got us in the bracket with, and that's Virginia, the winning,
Virginia,
and the style of play.
Yeah, because they're some emphasis type of team, which, like we talked about earlier, it's probably be a lower scoring game you will encounter and hopefully be able to come through with that.
Yeah, and that's Houston. We got Houston as the number 1 seed.
In the South.
Illinois is in there.
Okay.
We've already beaten Illinois. We beat them over here. Close game, at basketball team, and Duke. Right. Duke is in that same region. So you got Houston, Illinois, and Duke. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean,
if it materialized, I mean,
here and in the tournament, and we did well. So I mean,
if you're a 1 or 2 seed after you get through the first game, the next game, it's going to, from then on,
right?
You're going to be looking at probably an 8-9 matchup or somewhere in that neighborhood.
Exactly.
Of teams and.
True, and then plus with the portal right now, like once you win those first 2 rounds, it's gonna be kind of even.
Yeah.
Because it's only one night. You got to
pitch at the baseball games over here, right? Huh?
True. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't you see though? You've seen more evening out in terms of the talent beating a UConn. That's. Going back to else, because all you need to do is find 2 or 3 different guys or that one guy.
Exactly.
Like Tennessee's found that one guy from
to fill that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Unless you're Rick Pitino and you're just out there getting the leftovers, and then you're in trouble. He just called. He just.
Oh no. It's, once you start talking like that on television about your players, it's
Yeah. And you know how these Italians are. Shut it down.
Yeah.
Well, he kept saying in that interview, I don't want to say anything here I don't want to say.
Okay. So then
you better just get up and leave.
So you should.
Yeah.
He just giving you a little warm up.
Just giving you a warning.
Hey, we're going to find out, Tony. Alabama's at Kentucky. That's a big one.
Oh, man.
That's a huge game because Alabama's sitting at 11-2, Tennessee's sitting at 10-3.
Right.
And at Kentucky, they still got that game lead, and they've got Tennessee coming to Alabama. They got them coming to Tuscaloosa to play down there. Already won at Kentucky. You see.
Well, true.
So
true.
that'd be a big deal. But as the day plays out, if Kentucky was to win, and
that'd be great.
And Tennessee that 2-way tie. South Carolina, I think we still got maybe 4 right there. South Carolina's at 9-4. Tennessee's got to go to South Carolina.
Right.
You got Auburn at 9-4. Auburn's got to come here.
True.
You got Florida. Now Florida's playing really well,
exactly.
And they could give some people some trouble in the tournament and also the NCAA. And in Kentucky, I don't know, Tony Iruli, about Kentucky. Righted, and then they go down to LSU the other night. They blow the 13-point lead, and they get beat at the buzzer. And I don't know where we're at. I don't know where Kentucky's at right now.
The thing is, people at Kentucky don't know where they're at.
No, they don't.
And those 20,000 in here today, I don't know.
You said it with you said the right word, defense.
Yes.
They just want to score, and
sure,
they're not going to stop anybody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But you
just don't know.
NCAA tournament, and then you got these teams right there really looking to get into the tournament. The Mississippi and Texas A&M, really those 3 teams are fighting in. Outside of that, you're pretty well done. But what impresses me about maybe 2 teams or 3 teams. Now look, we got Alabama, we got Tennessee, we got We got Florida, we got Kentucky. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 teams now, which shows me a few weeks back. How do you feel about that, Tony?
I feel great about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm just saying to represent the conference in the tournament. You know, that's
good as the Big 12. Do you think?
Yes.
You think it's just as good as the Big 12?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because that's the one a lot of people mentioned, that the Big 12 is,
the
deal, and the ACC seems to be on down the line. Donnie's over here with the hatchet chop. Is that what that is, the hatchet chop? Huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Florida State chop.
That's it.
We got to Aaron Ishmael back at Loud Media and all our hosts and the Blue Tick Tavern and all our sponsors for Donnie Moore and myself and Tony White and Dwayne East.
All right.
Be safe, Marcus.
Yep.
And that's the final whistle. Join us again next Saturday. Page, the best in local sports. Team 78.